Hi everyone, it's Eve. This video you're about to see is where we passed around the baton talking about our worst, or some of our worst gigs, I should say. Um, yeah, I hope you enjoy. Anyways, yeah, I would say like offhand, like it's probably my first gig nightmare. It's not my worst, but yeah, I was in an alternative rock band back when I was 23, and I think we were playing a pretty big gig with I think we played with a metal band, which was a very strange, a couple of metal bands, which was a very strange matchup with the alternative rock tag. Um, and but they were, both legendary, and they drew in a huge crowd. So we figured, well, yeah, we'll go off and do this gig. I we get up, we start performing, everything's going normally.
Mhm.
Yeah, we start performing, everything's going great. Um, and then yeah, I think third or fourth song in, I I break the A string,
Uh-oh.
and yeah, on my bass. Uh,
Ooh,
yeah,
Whoa.
and
ooh,
yeah,
that sucks.
yeah, and I don't have a backup bass, and I run after the song's over, I run off stage and ask musicians, and just the band's looking at me like,
You didn't bring
what is
strings with you?
yeah, apparently not. Yeah,
Ah!
that was just I was kind of a novice musician at that point,
Okay, all
and
right.
I wasn't thinking. I mean, after that incident, I I I changed that, of course, but yeah, I run off and ask them, and they're like, "Oh, it's in a different tuning. I don't think that would work." Um so yeah, I just got back up on stage, and I pulled through, but it was so weird playing the entire gig with a missing A string on my bass, because most of the stuff that we were doing required me to be fairly active on the bass. I mean, between the covers and the originals, I think we were doing Red Hot Chili Peppers, Led Zeppelin, uh what else, god, I can't even remember now. The group's name was Red Letter Reunion, by the way, and yeah, I was in that band for like 6 months. But that was, yeah, it was like the worst gig ever with them, and my first gig nightmare.
Right on.
Wow.
So, so yeah, like the having extra strings lesson is something that could be another gig nightmare video for me. But I just cannot imagine playing the bass without your A like
It's-
like if you lost your G or
yeah.
maybe even your D, you probably could be okay. But losing your A, just like no, no, you can't,
Yeah,
no.
Yeah,
that's like playing without one hand. I mean, it's just like, oh, I gotta rethink everything.
I mean, I'm not the best
exactly.
bass player, but I mean, I know my way around a bass, and I would not want to play without an A string.
I also, after
Woo!
that gig, I'd like to say that I bought another bass, um, just so I didn't have to like worry about that moving forward. I was just like, if that happens again, I can just grab the other bass. Um, yeah, and so
That's
it was,
true. Good
yeah.
point.
And I mean, changing bass strings versus
Wow.
changing guitar strings is actually a lot harder. So, um, yeah, like having an extra bass, I feel like, for like continuity's sake, is kind of mandatory, no matter what, like
I
like what
hate
kind of
changing
music you're
strings.
playing. it it sort of is.
I was this is a bit of a tangent. You can reel me in if you want, Eve, but I worked in a music store for over 15 years with, God bless him, the world's greatest guitar tech. This guy, the guy who identified the fake Les Paul for me, and he knows he knows his stuff. You know who you are out there, Paul. Incredible. Spoiled me so much. I could get anything I wanted as long as he had a few minutes. And I mean, he would charge me for the parts. We were family. That's it. So I could do anything, and now I got to do everything myself. But he taught me so much. I credit him as giving me what I call a algorithm. I use, a set of steps that I've learned for, troubleshooting my guitar because, he taught me a lot and he learned from his dad. So bless you guys. So anyway, that's the end of my tangent.
Well, I keep thinking here to put this in perspective for people that don't play a bass or something like that. The bass guitar has extremely thick strings, and I'm just thinking, were you playing with the pick or fingers back then, Eve?
I was playing with fingers because I needed it for that that style of music.
Right, man. That's okay. So I'm trying to think of how to relate this to people that don't play music. It's like it's a thick wire, maybe almost an eighth of an inch or about 3 millimeters in diameter. And that's a wire wound with another wire that just snapped like that too. Because I'm thinking, I don't think I've ever broken a bass string. And a bass I'm using, the strings on it are probably 16 years old.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. My dad had a carve-in bass. I learned to play it upside down. So,
cool.
But I didn't restring it like Jimi Hendrix. That's how I actually learned to play bass, was on a left-handed bass that I played upside down. So the G string was here and then the E string was here. And like that was the bass I had for a long time until I bought my own. It was such a nice bass. It sounded so good. I didn't care.
Yeah. Those carvings are good instruments.
I played,
it still plays it sometimes.
For reference, I played a Kurt Kerbo back then, if you've seen those. Yeah, so I was just so surprised that a string broke because just like it was a new bass and there were no divots on the saddles and all that that would have wore away at the strings. So I was like, I'm kind of baffled, but I found out later I probably could have got away with putting flat wounds on that thing and been better off.
Flat wounds are pretty cool. They give a neat sound.
Yeah, but they don't tend to. I think you can leave them on there longer, as long as you like refurbish them a certain way. You can pretty much leave them on there almost indefinitely, from what people have told me.
That was a cool effect. I know it wasn't intentional, but that was cool.
What would happen?
For us, Eve, you were in slow motion, and the audio was up with the video and slowing down, and it had a very slight flanger.
But it went along with what you were saying so perfectly. I hope it comes out that way on your recording, because you would have to do a lot of work to make it do that. That'd be hard.
Yeah.
Anyway, another tangent aside. This is fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was that an ending? Or
I suppose. Yeah. I mean, that was the ending was that I watched the other bands. I think it was it's Silent Season and Diecast that were playing, and that Diecast being legendary metal from I think it's metalcore actually. Yeah, from Massachusetts, because they came up about the same time as like Shadows Fall and Killswitch Engage and all that.
Cool. Right on.
Cool.
Yeah. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe.